Welcome to day 67. Behold, more core. We're gonna have 4 supersets. The first movement in each superset is a primal movement, and the second one is a core-focused movement. We're gonna work for 45 seconds for each movement, no rest between those movements, followed by a 15-second rest between each set. We'll spend 5 sets per superset. Superset 1, movement A, is a goblet squat or a loaded squat. So you're gonna have an anterior load, and you're gonna pull your body down to the floor and push yourself back up. We're gonna accumulate 45 seconds of repetitions. Movement B is gonna be a variation of a quadruped hard pull. I like to call this a triangle quadruped pull. So we're gonna bring the knees out a little bit wider than usual, and you're gonna allow your toes to follow the width of the knees. Your hands are gonna be relatively narrow. From here, you're gonna pull your hands towards your thighs and your thighs towards the hands. You can make this a little bit more challenging by digging your toes into the floor and elevating the knees off the ground while pulling the hands towards the toes. Superset 2, movement A, is a variation of a row. We're gonna brace one of our arms on a piece of furniture, and you can lengthen the lever from your hand to your feet to where you feel comfortable to perform this row. The longer the lever between the hand and the feet, the more reliance there is on the trunk as you complete this movement. We'll spend half the allotted time on one side and half the allotted time on the other side. Movement B is a dynamic partial curl up, hands behind the head. Initiate the stability through the midsection by pushing the lower back into the floor, and imagine you have a string on your chest that's pulling the chest forward, so there's extra tension on the midsection. Hands are going to support the neck. With our legs, we're going to start in this 90-degree or greater position. We're going to open, 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 flex your butt cheeks, close, 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 press, press. Open, 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 squeeze the butt cheeks, close, close, close. Another variation here, keeping the knee bent, press, press. Superset 3, movement A, we're gonna start with a top-down deadlift. So from the standing position, we're gonna create lots of tension by flexing the glutes, pushing the floor apart, and shoulders back and down. We're then gonna press those hips back behind the torso, allowing a straight line from our head to our bum to the deepest point that we can go. Create lots of tension, standing back up. We're having the prime mover here be our hip joint, and we're keeping the knee at a slight bend, but not really moving through it too much. Movement B, sliding knee tuck, either bilateral, both legs, or alternating single leg. Bilateral, initiating that pull through the midsection, bringing the knees nice and high to the top of the torso, and pressing back out. Very light on the toes, heavy through the arms and the core. If you find that you gotta use a lot of momentum to get forward and backwards, the single or alternating leg might be a better option. Pulling one in, slow and controlled, pressing back out, alternating to the opposite side, ensuring that the pelvis stays at the same height the entire time and we don't go into too much of a wiggle. Superset 4, movement A, yoga push-up. Descend into your push-up position, press the torso back up, and you're going to pivot through those feet, getting your head into an overhead position in between the shoulders, returning back to your starting position of the push-up, descending back in. You can also complete this from the knees, push-up. Once you get up here, dig the toes in, perform that overhead position, or even an elevated position against furniture. Movement B, a supine pullover. You can either have your legs in the air or grounded on the floor for a little bit more stability. Whichever you choose, ensure that the lower back stays pressed into the floor so we keep tension and rigidity through the midsection. We're then gonna have a long lever between our head and our hands with a weighted object, and we're gonna pull over the torso and back to the floor. You can extend the legs or keep them bent to create a different level of difficulty. If you enjoyed today's full body workout with a sprinkling of core, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel.